If, like me, you enjoy disc-bound systems for your bullet journals, or you just sometimes use rulers or other drawing tools with your planners, you'll want to check this out. I'll show you how to create a snap-in adapter for a ruler, or any flat tool like a triangle or protractor. I'm using an arc planner I purchased at Staples, but this will work for any of the disc-bound systems. For this project, of course you will need your planner and ruler, or whatever you are wanting to create an adapter for. You will also need a hole punch. I'm using the punch designed to work with the arc system. If you have one for your system, that's great, but you can use just about any punch that allows you to punch holes at a 1-inch spacing. I'll talk more about the options later. You will also need some clear tape and a piece of flexible plastic. Choose something that is flexible enough to bend easily without creasing, but stiff enough to grab onto the discs. Lastly, you'll need a pair of scissors. The plastic I'm using was the packaging from a set of toothbrush covers. It seemed like a thinner version of the material used on my planner cover, so I knew it would work well. It was also about the right size, and even though it had a few holes cut into it, I knew I could trim it to make it work. Start by positioning your ruler. It's best to have it close to the discs in the center. If you are making adapters for more than one tool, try to lay them out so that they fit neatly and don't overlap. Next, trim your plastic. Make sure it's wide enough to run from the inside edge of the paper near the binding discs to the center of your tool, and that it's long enough to span at least 2 to 3 discs. Once the tool or tools are in position, lay your plastic pieces on top of them and mark the approximate locations of the holes. Try to make sure the holes will be centered in the plastic. Then punch the holes along the edge of the plastic, pressing the plastic all the way in and trying to get the holes lined up with the marks you made. This is the piece I will be using to attach my triangle. This one will become my ruler adapter. Lay your tool in place and snap the plastic into the discs and lay it on top of the tool. Then mark the plastic where it lines up with the center of the area to be attached. In this case, it's the center line of the ruler. Now you can remove the plastic and trim it to fit. This time I decided to score the plastic and create a fold along the center line to make it a little stronger, but you could also just trim it off right along that line using scissors. I'll show you how to do that when I get to the triangle. Here you see me scoring along the center line by pressing gently with the utility knife and folding along that line. Then I trim off the excess, leaving about 1/4 of an inch tab. I line up the fold with the center of the ruler, then tape it along both sides. Apply the tape to the plastic adapter first, then, with it snapped in the binding and the ruler in place, press the tape onto the ruler. Then pull it out of the journal and flip the adapter over to tape the other side. As you apply the tape, make sure you can easily flip the adapter from side to side. I repeat the same steps to attach the triangle. I punch the holes along one edge, being careful to center them on the plastic. Then I line it up and mark the plastic where it lines up with the center of that side, the one that is closest to the binding. This time I simply cut along that center line and line the cut edge along the center when I tape it down. As before, apply the tape to the adapter first, then line it up in the binding and secure it to the triangle. So as I finish this up, I'd like to talk about some options for anyone who doesn't have a punch that is specifically designed for the disc systems. I sometimes use my cinch binding punch for punching heavier materials like cardboard because I can set the hole pattern to match those needed for my ARC notebooks. If you don't have one of those but have a handheld single hole punch or a large grommet hole punch, those can work too. Simply mark your holes along a straight line that is parallel to the edge with 1 inch spacing between them. Once punched, all you need to do is cut a slot from the edge to each hole to allow it to slide over the edge of the discs. To see the full video showing how I use my cinch to prepare a disc journal cover, click on the card above or see the description box below. The adapter can easily be snapped in and out and can be used as a handle. It also allows me to use either edge. I like using my ruler as a bookmark too. I can snap it in on my daily journal and then be ready for the next day. If I want to create parallel lines, I use the ruler and triangle together. I simply place the ruler down and use it as a guide for the triangle, which I can then use as a straight edge for drawing the parallel lines. That's just a little trick I learned when I had a drafting class, and it can be very helpful. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and check back often.